Hello guys, it is the middle-aged mama with twins. I am coming at you today to kind of talk about where this grief journey has taken me. So it's been more than a year. The girls turned 1 on February 3rd, but my boyfriend didn't pass away until April 27th of 2017. So I'm coming up on a year with that, and through grief counseling, I have been able to do a lot of processing and reflection with it. Now, my grief counseling ended on on February 28th. And it didn't necessarily end abruptly. She basically was changing organizations, and she came to me and let me know that she would be leaving. And, we had a few more sessions left. I could, potentially follow her to the next place, but she needed to get in and get settled, and there was a process for it. So if I was able to follow, if they were able to take me and I was able to be a client there, then she could give me a call once she got that process rolling, and I could start up counseling with her again. And I'd absolutely want to. I want to continue with recounseling. I feel like it's absolutely helped. And I also feel like I'm coming up on the 1-year anniversary, and I know that that's going to be really tough. That first year is tough. I kind of remember sort of going through it, when I lost my parents. I lost my dad in 2000 and my mom in 2010. And the first year was just really, really rough. Not to say that it gets better with time. You just kind of learn to deal with it. But that first year, it's all the first. It's everything, you think of the first Christmas without them, the first Easter without them, the first birthday without them, the first Sunday without them, the first Ash Wednesday, anything you can think of, everything just kind of, because no matter what it is, it's without them now. And that's it's tough. It's kind of just a really, really, really tough place to be in. So I know that, a lot of the first for this year was hard, especially because it was so much more than just first holidays or, this was the anniversary of the first time we went on a date or something like that. It was, a lot of the first with the girls. So, first time them walking, first words, first time, taking a bath together, things like that. I had a year full of first that he just wasn't a part of, and that was tough. So saying all of that to say, I know that, as this anniversary comes closer, it's going to be really tough. So I do hope that I can start back up, before that time gets here, and I'll be able to kind of hash out those emotions that I'm going through. Now, what I will say is, as I've taken, kind of had this break from her, it's helped me to do some reflecting on some stuff. And I kind of came to the conclusion that I was trying to live up to the hype. And let me explain what I mean. So usually when you think about hype, you just kind of think about something that's, it's hyped up, it's amplified. There's this huge expectation of it. There's, oh my God, this thing is big, it's huge, it's, there's hype behind this. If I live in Baltimore, so somebody's like, oh, where do you get the best crab cake? There's hype behind it. Oh, such and such has the best crab cake. This restaurant has the best crab cake. And then you'll have that, 1 or 2 people who are just yeah, I don't see what all the hype is about. Because there's this expectation when there's all this hype. And I was trying to live up to the hype. So when I say that, what I mean is, before my boyfriend died, like I said, the twins weren't even 3 months old yet. And when my boyfriend died, there was some members of his family that hadn't seen the twins yet. So after he passed, of course, there was now this urgency. It's like you come to that realization that life is short. You can't take anything for granted. And there was kind of this urgency to see the twins and spend some time with them. That was hard for me because I needed space. So I was kind of inundated with people who we want to come over, we want to come visit, and not that they weren't necessarily willing to help me or anything, but for me, the most helpful thing would have been to give me my space, and that was something that they didn't want to do. They wanted to be near, they wanted to be around, they wanted to see the twins, they wanted to, be a part of that. And I tried so hard to accommodate. Even with my boyfriend's mom, like, she doesn't get around very well. So I was taking the twins to see her because he hadn't taken the twins to see her, and she hadn't been out to see the twins since the hospital. So I tried to accommodate. I tried. And I got burnt out, like absolutely burnt out. It was too much for me. I didn't get the space I needed. I didn't get the time to grieve that I needed. Everything just kind of felt like, this person hasn't seen the twins yet. I got to make sure this person sees the twins. I got to make sure I text this person. They just see this person. I got to text this person back. It was too much for me. It was something. It burnt me out. I didn't like it. I didn't want it. I needed time and space. I needed air. I needed fresh air. And when I kind of got burnt out, I just kind of fell off the map. And I know that there were some people who were very unhappy with me when it happened. And I felt bad about it because there was an expectation of me. Kind of the hype was, I feel like I was like this really, I was a nice girl. I was a little bit younger than he was, not much, like 6 years, but I was a little bit younger than he was, and I think that people just kind of felt like, I was a nice girl. I was, a nice young lady, and, I was sweet and accommodating, and I was, trying to make sure I accommodated everybody. Like, I was going to do that. I wasn't going to cut anybody off, or I wasn't going to push anybody away. I was a sweet girl. That's the best way I can think to describe it. So I feel like that's kind of that's what the hype was. That's what the expectation of me was, that I was going to continue to accommodate. And I did. I stopped accommodating, and I became like this villain. And I felt so bad because I just like, I just need space. I just need time. I just need space. I just give me a minute. Give me a minute. And the more I thought about re-entering into that space, even after taking this break, it just gave me anxiety because I had to go back into the expectation. So even if I go back in and I've taken the time that I needed, what if I need more time at some point? Now I've disappointed again. I haven't lived up to the hype anymore. Like, what am I doing? They thought I was a nice girl. They thought that I was sweet. They thought I was so accommodating. So in this time that I've kind of had to, reflect, I kept making excuses. Before I had the time for reflection, I kept making excuses. And I would just say, I don't want to see this person because they did this. Or I don't want to talk to this person because they did that. Or I tried to make it like it wasn't me. It's not me, it's them. They did this. They brought them on themselves. And the grief counselor would kind of talk to me about it a little bit. And I think she was trying to pull this out of me. And I refused to accept that it was me. And in this time of reflection, I realized that it was absolutely me. It was me. The conflict wasn't, I don't want to see these people because they did this or did that. I don't want to see these people because I just don't want to see them. I wasn't comforted by their presence. I didn't feel like I was surrounded by love. They didn't do anything bad. They didn't do anything wrong. So it's not like they did something and I just felt like I was overlooking it or like sweeping it under the rug to be accommodating. They didn't do anything. For what I needed, they didn't have it. For what I needed to get through my grief and to deal with the anxiety and the stress and to kind of find this new normal and this new groove for myself, they didn't have anything that could help me. They weren't offering anything that could actually help me. And the conflict wasn't necessarily with them, because I definitely tried to make the conflict about it's them, it's them. The conflict was within me, because I was feeling anxiety about something that I felt like I needed to do that I really didn't need to do and I didn't want to do. And once I finally got to a point where I felt more confident and I don't have to do this stuff. I don't have to. I don't know whose fault it was that, they weren't spending time with the twins when my boyfriend was alive. But if it's going to be my fault now, it just has to be my fault, because there's some things that I have to take care of in order to spend the next however long I have taking care of my family. Because it's not just 18 years. It would be nice, but I think as parents, we know our duties do not stop at 18 years. They change, but they don't stop. And in that reflection, it just kind of made me look at some other stuff in my life too. And I just kind of wanted to say that we sometimes try to live up to the hype. And as much as we, like to say, we don't care what people think and we live our own lives, and there are times when we do feel like there's an expectation of us and we have to live up to that hype. We have to live up to that expectation. And we do it, a lot of times we do it because the relationships where this hype is created, they're important to us. Like, they could be siblings, or they could be our parents, they could be our children, and we have to live up to this. We have to live up to this hype, this expectation, these high expectations. And at the end of the day, we don't. We don't have to live up to the expectations. We have to do what's best for us. We have to do what's healthy for us. What's healthy for me right now is grieving, taking the time and focusing my energy on what's going to get me through. And I can't worry about the expectations that are coming from others. It was liberating, actually, to have that revelation over the last couple weeks. It took away a lot of worry and anxiety that I was feeling about what am I going to do, and what's going to happen when this, and what should I do with this. And once I realized I don't have to do anything. That's the expectations they have belong to them. I don't have to own them. And it felt good to come to that conclusion. The expectations of others are theirs. It belongs to them. We don't have to own them. We can let them keep them. If we choose to take them on, that's up to us. But we don't have to take anything just because somebody's handing it out, even expectations. Thanks so much for listening, and you guys have an amazing day.